Hello and welcome back to Let's Race Jack 3. In the last episode we started our Let's Race against Tealgamemaster and SacComms, and we got off to a pretty good start. Only one failure on the lizard, on the corralling wild lizards. That doesn't, it's not a particularly costly death in any way. And yeah, no, made some pretty decent progress, and hopefully we're going to be able to continue that progress into this section. So now, this is the first chance where we really get to choose which missions we're going to do. And I'm going to choose to do the Deimos missions to begin with, because I believe that essentially they're the faster route to go. Certainly, as of my knowledge, without using any of the glitches that I know. Essentially, I've having seen other people play the game fast and all this sort of stuff, I know that there's certain things that you can do to speed things up, but at the same time, I wouldn't have chosen to do them. Like, I wouldn't know to do them before I started looking at this, and because of that I don't really want to use those tips, because I feel like that, that would be disingenuous to how I would play this game. So I know, for example, that, if you destroy your vehicle, you respawn at Spargus, but I'm not actually going to use that at any point, most likely. I think that would make most sense. So yeah, actually we're not starting quite yet. But yeah, so just some other things to take care of. Essentially, I do know that I watched Teal and SacComms video, the first video that they did again, and it says that essentially the orb counting that they did, so instead of they wanted to collect 50 orbs in Spargus, Wasteland and Haven, that they didn't do. They didn't continue that through the entirety of their Let's Race, or their race, their versus. But essentially, I am going to continue it until I watch the video of theirs where they say they're stopping to do that, just because it makes sense. Just to keep it as fair as possible. And then also, if you're an official speedrunner of this game, don't watch this. It's pretty much would be my advice. This isn't an official speedrun. It's just a race against others. It's just for fun. And the people who do officially speedrun these sort of games and stuff like that, I have the utmost respect for. But certainly, we won't be utilising the amazing tricks that they can do in order to actually get this game, completed super fast. So anyway, we're going to start off this. As you can see, we have 30 minutes and 15 seconds, the 15 seconds that we saved at the end of the last episode, and hopefully we'll be able to, use most of this time up this time. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're going to jump in the Dune Hopper, because the Dune Hopper is pretty much, it's not the fastest vehicle in terms of just raw speed, but it's essentially, its ability allows it to become very fast. It's got a skill that obviously not only is vital to the actual game itself, in that you need to use it in order to access certain areas, but it also allows you to traverse the landscape relatively fast. So unfortunately we started heading off going in the wrong direction, but anyway. The other lovely thing about the Dune Hopper is that it's got this sort of lovely projectile-based weapon, which if it connects with an enemy, will take it out, and that's beautiful, essentially. And they have a pretty large area of effect as well. So essentially all you do is you boost, and then you release your super jump at the, midway through your boost. And you go flying forwards at a really nice speed, and obviously you also avoid any incoming marauders or stuff like that, because you're in the air. So now the Deimos mission coming up is probably the hardest one, I would say, in Act 1 of this game. It's particularly annoying, particularly frustrating, but hopefully we'll be able to get it done nice and fast, and we'll see some success with this one. So we jump on you. So we're going to obviously head over to Deimos, have a brief cutscene, and then we'll be at the start of the next mission.
Attention all people of Spargus. A large storm is heading our way. Prepare the city. Jack, there are 4 wastelanders out there who still have not reported in. I want wants you to go out and find them. Do whatever it takes to bring them back.
So, there we go, the Wastelanders. Another thing, you might notice that my Skull Gems are slightly different from before. I don't think my Precursor Orbs is, but my Skull Gems might be. That's because I lost a recording and essentially had to redo the first part again, so I think I got all the same Precursor Orbs as last time. I should have, certainly. But yeah, I think I didn't get the same number of Skull Gems for whatever reason. It shouldn't matter. I don't really particularly plan on using Skull Gems that much at all. I know that Teal and SacComms were planning on using them for, obviously, when they were doing their orb thing, but I don't think I'll be doing that particularly. Because I think there'll be enough orbs just lying around for us to find, hopefully. So this mission essentially involves using the Sand Shark, and this is the first mission where you really start seeing the menace of Marauders and what they can do in missions like this. So it's pretty much the same as Shuttle Underground Fighters. At the end of Act 1 in Jack 2, it's pretty much the same mission. In that you go to a place, pick up a person, and then take them to another place. I think the timing actually works the same again, so essentially I have this time, I get to the guy, then I get another minute, I think, once I reach him, and I've got to use that to get to the next Wastelander. Is there another minute? No, okay, so it's just the same time. So essentially, whatever time I had, I've got to... That's what makes this one particularly difficult, is essentially any mistakes you make are essentially compounded, because I believe now I might get the minute bonus. Yeah. So essentially, I don't know whether that was exactly, might be wrong, but from what it looks like to me is essentially I have, a set amount of time to reach the person and then drive them to the transport, and then, I get a minute added onto that time for the next guy. So obviously, if you have one that's slow, you'll then be under pressure for the next ones as well. You also notice that this area in particular is full of, you've essentially got a path where you can go up top, which involves some rather treacherous jumps across large gaps, or you can take the slower route, which is along the bottom, because you essentially got to continually be driving around the large water, the river, essentially. So, you can drop him off. And we'll head up here. Right. So this next one, it is particularly useful to use these jumps, but obviously they do possess a certain risk to them. Come on, get in. Lovely, okay. So we should be, we're going to be absolutely fine. So once you pick up this guy, so that's the main difficult bit of the level done. The next bit is not so bad, although it can be a bit frustrating. So essentially now, as you can see, we have a huge amount of time, and we're going to need it all. You'll also notice that there's a reason we're not getting many Marauders, but anyway. So if you can spin your car around to be facing the other way, that's actually quite handy at the beginning of this, but evidently I couldn't there. Oh, damn. Okay. Essentially, all you see there is Jack picks up a Dark Eco Crystal from that guy, and then this satellite-like thing appears behind him. Apologies for skipping that cutscene, I didn't mean to, but... pressed the wrong thing. I was trying to pause the timer, but evidently well, the cutscene instead. So yeah, so essentially it's pretty simple. What you've got to do is just stand under the guy, avoid the beams, then when his thing below, sort of the tendrils that fly below him go into a pointy, become pointy, then you know that he's going to slam down into the floor. And then he releases a set number of shockwaves. Obviously in the first one it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, and then when he spins around and is vulnerable, he obviously has 1, 2, or 3 of those sort of whips that spin around him. But yes, you do want to do this fast. The reason you want to do this fast is because as soon as it explodes, you've now got the amount of time you've got left on the timer to get back to Spargus before the storm comes in. And you don't want to... You really don't want to die. Oh, come on. Good, be good. Oh, we might be stuck. Please don't tell me we're stuck. Oh, they don't have time for this. Okay, we're gonna have to... Oh, do I restart or do I? Okay, the best thing to do here is actually just to completely destroy my car. Or move it enough that it's out. Where the hell am I? We should actually have enough time. Like, I should have... Oh. But now damage is going to be an issue, as you can see. We've lost a lot of damage on our vehicle now. Oh, man, come on! Get the hell off me. Stupid marauders. Okay, we're going to take... I'm only taking this route because I think the marauders are less likely to come this way, but I might be wrong. Any more time that I can spend without having marauders near me is obviously a good one, with how little health I have. Come on, got a minute. Lovely. Stupid wheel. Okay, I am so close to death, but so close to home. Come on. Get in there. Go, 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 go. Oh, we got so lucky there. Oh, man. I think that's... Jesus. That's one of the reasons why it's really difficult. And I think also probably one of the reasons why I dislike this game, why I deem Jak 2 a better game than this, is just that I prefer the zoomers, and I dislike the travelling between missions in this game more than I do in Jak 2. In Jak 2, you know, I quite enjoyed the zoomers and the traffic and all that, and in this game there's just, you know, occasionally you've just got to make really long trips across, you know, the vast wasteland. And, you know, it makes sense that you'd have to do that, obviously, but to me it's just not that enjoyable to actually do that. So we're just going to smash up the market. The reason we want to do this is because there are definitely some precursor orbs. I think there's 2, there might be 3. We'll just hope there's 2 and continue on. So next thing is we get another cutscene here with Cleaver.
Isn't it time for you ankle biters naps?
Yeah, whatever.
That gun turret used to be the only thing that stood between us and the desert's cruel kiss. I used to be the tall puppy on that baby. Wanna try to beat me, score?
Oh, don't worry. Jack beats things all the time. Hey, Jack?
So there we go. So now we head up to the gun turret section, and another little mini game. Although it does actually it does come back in a rather important section right at the end. That's a weird thing. So, essentially, the turret, just sort of is a turret. As you can see, the closer that you hit these targets to where they spawn out of the water, the more points you get. And essentially, in this version of the game, there is no benefit to essentially saving shots. Later on, when you do, if you were to do, try and get the, essentially, if you were trying to get the orbs, because you can get orbs on this challenge later on if you just come up here and you try and beat the score. Essentially, if you want to do that, the easiest way to do that is that if you save shots, so if you only take one shot per target, then essentially you get a multiplier for each point. So, you get ×1, ×2, ×3, etc. And that would obviously allow you to get a huge score very fast. But in this mode, that is not available for whatever reason. And rather, we've just got to... so I can waste as many shots as I like, just spamming... yeah, so it's there. So you get 2 there, we get 2 from here now, blue, followed by green, good. So I'm just trying to shoot these as early as possible, because obviously they do give me the most score. Okay, we get red, 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 green. Then we get 4 blues across the back, I think. Oh no, 4 greens. So, come on. One there. One there. So yeah, in the challenge... That's it. There we go. Lovely. In the challenge...
So, you nippers walloped me score. Fine. The top party has to be snipped sometime. Law of the land says the top gunner holds a special trophy in honor of their skill. This crystal's yours now, but I'll be getting it back soon enough.
So yeah, so when you go back to, if you were to go back to get the precursor orbs, then essentially it would be, you'd get, essentially you just have the same pattern that we saw there over and over again. It would repeat. Essentially, the pattern repeats. So you don't need to worry too much about that so much. So, we got the sword to take us to the arena. And the third of the missions on this side of essentially you've got a set of 4 missions either side at this point in the game, and obviously so this is the third one on the side of taking the Damus missions.
Greetings, brave fighters! The one, the only, the greatest highness of all highnesses, the magnificent, eminently...
Enough. Just get on with it.
Sorry, I gotta be carried away. Did I mention how fabulous your hair looks? Yes, right. Another round of games has been called. This is combat to the death. Good luck, and may the bravest man, or in some cases animals, win.
So we get the Vulcan Fury, obviously a weapon that if you paid attention to my Jack 2 playthrough you will be very familiar with. And this is really the first... This is the first mission where I like to start using the beam reflector a lot. You can start seeing its power. So what happens in this one is essentially, obviously, you've got a ring of metal. You've got this ring, this sort of window, I guess, pattern of the metal platforms, and then within each of the 4 windows, 4 platforms will appear. So essentially we're going to get this down to 1, and then we're going to go cutscene. So, there we go.
Don't you two look sorry about it.
What are you doing here?
Holding my skills. Let's finish this.
Whoa, come on, Sid. I'm not gonna fight you.
If we don't, he'll kill us both. Rule of the arena. Sorry, nothing personal.
Blasphemy. One must destroy the other. Complete the test or face worse fate.
I just know I'm gonna regret this.
Seize them. How dare you two defile the purity of the arena? Sig, your time in Haven City has poisoned you. And you, newcomer, you deserve no mercy. I should toss you both into the jaws of the desert. However, Sig, your years of service as our spy in Haven have earned you a chance to redeem yourself. But only this once. A spy?
Just shut up. I'll tell you later.
There is a nest of millipedes not too far from here. They have been harassing our artifact carriers for some time. I want you to drive into the heart of the nest and take out all of the creatures you find inside. I say good luck, but then luck won't help you.
So there we have it. Our next mission from Damus involves metalpedes and chasing them down. Oh, man. Really annoyed that I didn't find the 5th orb in this area. It's got to be around. I reckon it's in the water. But no, yeah, so obviously we get the reintroduction to Sig. We find out that he's actually from Spargus itself, not actually a Haven citizen, as we probably, we must have assumed when we saw him in Jak and Daxter 2, or Jak 2. And now, so now we're going to get access to the 4th and final vehicle that we get access to in the story for essentially the rest of the game. The next time we get access to a new vehicle, unless you buy one using your precursor orbs for secrets, the next time you actually get access to one is in virtually one of the final levels of the game. So we head over here to the Gilla Stomper, which rather suits Sig rather well, I always think. So that was clever. Too eager, too eager. Okay, so the Gilla Stomper essentially, its gun auto targets. It's particularly slow, but it's got great sort of armor, so you don't usually need to be too worried about taking too many hits. .5 minutes left, so we should be able to complete this mission and then probably get onto the next ones as well, I'd like to think. But yeah, I think, because a lot of the Spargus missions are, a lot of the Spargus ones involve using these vehicles and stuff like that, they don't necessarily feel like the sort of the Jak and Daxter missions that I really enjoyed in Jak 2, and I guess, that's what really means that Jak 3 falls below Jak 2 in my estimation. I much prefer playing as Jak rather than playing as Jak driving. So Stig gets to use his mighty Peacemaker to destroy the entrance to the Metalpede nest. And now we'll head in here, we'll see some new enemies. So the first new enemies are these little guys. They swarm all over your vehicle and they suck. They essentially, leech the health from it. They're not particularly dangerous because, as you can see, they're only dangerous if you essentially get stuck. And then they can jump all over your vehicle, but as long as you're moving, they're generally not a problem whatsoever. Might as well do that to cut the corner. The other enemies we'll see in this area are bat-like enemies that essentially come down from the ceiling and cause havoc that way. So essentially, our targets are to destroy those things, things that sort of shot ugly green mucus at me. But we're not going to destroy that first one, because essentially we're going to need to exit this area relatively fast once we're done here, and we don't want to... and whilst there's no real threat, because you've got more than enough time, this way just is, you know, it's just much safer. There's really no, you know, there's absolutely no chance of you getting screwed this way ever. So we'll take out that one. Make a turn. Flying bat enemies sort of have they have an energy pulse shot, but again they're really weak, and your auto-targeting gun on the Gilla Stomper really just wrecks them. So destroy you. Destroy you. Really? Why did that happen? Lovely. We'll clear out the second passageway, which is essentially this area is divided into two main caverns. That was the second one. We're going back into the first one. You've essentially got two paths, which are the two bridges that we just made, which connect the two caverns. We'll come out here, and then you can see the exits right in front of us. There is the final egg to destroy. And then, as you can see, you do get a countdown, but we are going to be able to get out of here with so much time left. It's going to be really simple. You might have also noticed that, that there are a couple of precursor orbs located in the metal peat nest. Essentially, there you go. That's what those little guys do. They jump on and they sort of. But essentially, in this area, you can see the little precursor orbs. They're essentially, I think there's 8 of them, something like that, around this area. They're some of the only orbs that are actually loose in the desert. But we'll also find several orbs in the temple and stuff like that. So there we go. We get Damus's somewhat reluctant blessing to continue living in Spargus. But the next missions will take us as far away from Spargus as we'll get, pretty much. Well, no, that's completely not true, but in this area, we'll have a nice long trip. Kidding, I didn't pick up that boost. So here's probably another section where you could, you know, blow up your vehicle and then it would automatically take you back to Spargus, so you can pick up the next one. But again, that's not something I'm using, just because it's not something that I really knew about until I started, but you know, until after I started this, and so it wouldn't be honest of me to use it. So anyway, we arrive back here, and now we've got to jump in the dune hopper. And we'll see the main use for this high jump. Aside from being a very convenient way of avoiding marauders. The lovely thing about the grenade launcher weapon is that if you're face down, it will literally just destroy anything that's nearby you. But obviously it is a weapon that's much harder to control, I guess, than just, you know, some machine guns which fire straight ahead of you. Come on, let me off. Stupid thing. Thank you. So you're now going to see, essentially, at the end of this section, so once we get to the temple and all this sort of stuff, you're going to see the reason why I choose to do these missions before I do the temple missions. Should be able to... So, this is why you need the Dune Hopper. The Dune Hopper is here for some island hopping. So it essentially allows you to cross over these various islands. Make our way over here, and then gotta get over this gap. Last gap here. And then, as you, so, I don't know if you just saw, but there are a couple of precursor orbs located just high up here, 3 of them to be precise, and we will grab them as our first orbs in the wasteland. So, we'll get to here, have a quick cutscene. So, some good old-fashioned platforming as we attempt to climb up this rather impressive tower. Lovely. Got really close there. So you can skip going between those platforms there. You can actually just go straight up between the bars, which is nice. And then we'll get to the top. A couple more. No! Oh, damn. Where's that going to take me? Yeah, death. Damn. Just rushing, essentially. That's... Controlling the camera right. Up and across. Up and over and cutscene.
Ooh, sweet.
Seems said they lost an expedition of monks on the volcano. I bet they built these gliders to reach the top.
Yeah, lost being the operative word. If they vanished, don't you think that was a sign? Hello?
Yeah, but you've got me. All we have to do is hit those accelerator rings and we're golden.
Oh, no. See any feathers here? Looks like fur to me. No feathers, no flyer de azzo. There's no way you're gonna get me on some precursor monk crap. Absolutely zippo chance. Forget it, finito. That chance, not gonna happen. Nope, nuh-uh, never.
Oh, I love that cutscene, it's so good. So, we have the only gliding mission in the game, which gives you these beautiful scenic views of the entirety of the wasteland, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy the fact that, you know, you can see the entirety of the wasteland from this level. The various areas that you can get to and stuff like that. So obviously below us is the corral area. So hopefully we're going to be able to complete this. We might not complete this within the remaining time we have, but hopefully we will. We'll see. You can see a little fortress over there on a little island. We will be visiting that in the future. So essentially, in the early stages of this little section, you can afford to miss a few rings. As in, there are places where you can miss one ring and then still hit the subsequent one. But later on, you pretty much just got to hit every single one. So as we continue to make our way around. We start seeing these circular ones. Fly up. This one. Looks like we're not quite going to fit this in, but you can hopefully see those rings high up in the sky over there. That's where we're headed. 4, 3, 2, 1. Just had to trigger that stopwatch just to see how far we're going to go over. It shouldn't be too long, probably about a minute, maybe less. Oh damn, that's going to cost me. If we're lucky, come on. You know you want it. Yes. Oh, I was so lucky, so lucky. You are not meant to be able to miss that ring, but we did it. Okay. And there we have it. There we have.
Well, now we can't go back the way we came. Let's go check it out.
Right behind you, partner. Far behind you.
So there we have it. That's going to be it for this episode of my Let's Race of Jak 3. It's been a pretty successful episode. Obviously, a few of those missions could have gone slightly better, but ultimately there have been no real calamities. The falling down on climbing the tower was a bit annoying, but you know, again, it's not really cost me that much time, and there are certainly worse checkpoints in this game to suffer a death and then have to restart. So ultimately, still doing pretty well. So I'm happy with that. We've gone 37 seconds, not minutes, 37 seconds over. So we will go back to, we'll take that off the next episode. And I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope you'll join me on the next one. We will start doing the volcano, and this is one of my favourite areas. I really enjoy this area, not just because the music's awesome, but also. It goes right back to what Jak and Daxter is all about, and what I really enjoy about the Jak and Daxter games. Being Jak, going through the missions, taking on all the metalheads and stuff like that come through the area. It's a really nice level, and I'm going to enjoy it. So I hope you will join me on the next episode, where we'll be taking on the volcano and progressing through. I hope to see you then.